Okay, this gym creep phenomenon, the hashtag gym creep, what this is gang stalking and harassment of men in public spaces. Okay? So, what is going on is women are going into gyms and they're taking photographs of men without unsolicited, without the consent, accusing them of being creepy, and then posting it online. So this is harassment and it's incitement to gang stalking because people online could find out who that man is potentially and harass him. Okay, so this is harassment, and any other framing of the issue is completely false. So I'm going to read this article from News AU, Australian News. This article's from today. Okay, so this is a phenomenon that's getting worse, and the mystery of TikTok is spreading this. This is spread on TikTok. Okay, women have been doing this on TikTok, harassing men. Okay, and here's another thing. I'm not arguing whether that man looked at the woman or not, because in a lot of cases the man hasn't looked at the woman. But even if the man is looking at the woman, so fucking what? Men have got a right to look at women. Period. Right? Period. And we do not hold women to this same standard. Okay? Right? Like women will blatantly go, he's got nice abs, and say that out loudly, boldly, without fear. Right? But men are not even allowed to look in the same direction as women. No, I reject that 100%. Okay? So let's just read this article. A fitness instructor on a mission to stop women sharing false accounts of uncountable encounters with men at the gym is at the centre of a furious online debate after his video left one target fearing for her safety. That's a lie. And it's not. Don't put target in quotes, right? If a woman is targeting men on social media, right, and she's getting pushed back, she's not a target. Okay. Joey Sowell went viral for defending a man being wildly slammed on social media after Jessica Fernandez, a video game and lifestyle content creator with nearly 56 followers on Twitch, posted a video in which she shares her frustrations at being sexualized when working out. The concept of sexualized is completely invalid. These bullshit terms like objectification, there's a reason why I reject them, because it leads to nonsense like that. Okay, so sexualized. So men are allowed to have thoughts in the head. They're allowed to be attracted to women and allowed to think those thoughts, right? They're perfectly entitled. Oh, by the way, there's laws in the UK. I've already done a video of this. There's laws in the UK that could send men to jail for staring at women, by the way. And it's already happened. Men have gone to jail for staring at women. Sexualized. I reject that concept 100%, right? As long as a man's not masturbating in public or hovering right next to women right in a body space, he's allowed to think whatever he wants to think. He's allowed to quote unquote sexualize her, right? Her frustrations. Let's look at this. Exercise. Woman feels man staring at her like a piece of meat, right? Woman films man staring at her like a piece of meat at the gym. So I'm not even going to watch this video and find out whether he was or not, because he's allowed to stare at her. Now, can you imagine if a straight guy was ranting and raving and showing his frustrations at gay men staring at him like a piece of meat, and it makes him uncomfortable? That guy would be called a homophobe, and rightfully so. Joey Sowell went viral for defending a man being widely slammed on social media after Jessica Fernandez, a video game and lifestyle content creator with nearly 56,000 followers on Twitch, posted a video in which she shares her frustration at being sexualized when working out. Okay? And look, also, no one gives a shit if gay men fetishizes men at the gym, right? This extra scrutiny, these artificial boundaries that we put men under is just hostility. These are artificial tripwires that we put men under so we can have a pretext to attack them in society. That's all it is. Despite stating the encounter left encounter leaving her feeling extremely uncomfortable. Okay, stop. I don't care if it left her feeling uncomfortable. It's not about, because the white nationalist might feel uncomfortable around black people. That's his problem. I don't give a shit if a white racist feels uncomfortable around black people. That's his hang-up. It does not validate his aggression towards black people. Mrs. Fernandez later apologised after her clip was shared by Mrs. Sowell, who offered an alternative motive for the man's unwanted attention. What do you mean, what unwanted attention? Fuck you. Unwanted attention. Fuck you. See how ridiculous this is? Existing in the same room is unwanted attention. Fuck you. Jessica Fernandez is one of the many women sharing an uncomfortable experience at the gym. Like the white nationalist is uncomfortable because the big black man working out in the gym with muscles intimidates him, right? Or the homophobe is uncomfortable because the effeminate guy obviously lusts after him. Like no, these feelings are not valid. I'm sorry. There's a big difference between staring at someone and simply looking or glancing at them. He said in a clip that has been viewed 80 million times. And all right, it's good that he's calling that out, calling this bullshit out. But at the same time, it doesn't matter if he's staring at them, right? Men are allowed to stare at women. They're allowed to find them attractive. They're allowed to go off somewhere private and jack off to the thought of them, right? It's none of their business. As long as they're not jacking off in the same space as them, it doesn't matter if they're staring at them, okay? And look, there is actually, there is such thing as uncomfortable staring designed to intimidate, okay? Right? But that's not being done against these women, is it? It's okay. It's more likely to be done by the women, actually. So why did this man look at you? Well, you're in front of him, off to the side. You're in his peripheral. You're also taking a video with your camera, point directly at him, and you're talking to yourself. He's probably watching you, wondering what is she doing. No, I would. Yeah. As Mrs. Fernandez was forced with a barrage of criticism, some even labeling her attention seeker. Men were quick to hail Mr. Sorrell as a hero and a legend. Yeah, because men are sick of this persecution and harassment. Doing God's work, bro, one bloke even commented. Men are human beings with feelings. You might not know this. What's your name? Rebecca Scanlan. Men are human beings with feelings. They don't like being harassed and scrutinised and criticised for no good reason, okay? Doing God's work, bro, one bloke even commented. Since that video went viral last month, the fitness creator who calls himself the CEO of Gym Positivity Online and has 6.5 million followers has continued to share videos shaming women who claim they've been left feeling vulnerable. Oh, no, your feelings are not valid. I reject that again. Your feelings are not a pretext to harass men. And you're lying about feeling vulnerable. If you really felt vulnerable, you wouldn't publicly harass men like this. So your feelings of vulnerability are actually a lie. And scared by wanted male attention while working out. Oh, you're scared? No, that's a lie. That's a lie. You feeling scared is not a pretext to attack men. So that false framing is rejected. Wow, he's fucking ripped. Jesus Christ. Women being harassed at the gym is not a new phenomenon. Yeah, because the concept of it is not new, but it's actually not a thing at all. Okay? Maybe throughout history, maybe a couple hundred or women have been harassed at the gym. Right, out of millions who've been to gym. So it doesn't happen really. One study from 2001 found that 70% of women felt uncomfortable exercising in public due to harassment, the Guardian reported. This is all about women's feelings, right? If you surveyed 100 white nationalists, that 76% of them probably think that black people are out to get them as well. Like, paranoid feelings are not valid. So I'm not going to read this article. I just want to see if it's got sources. I do not see sources. I do. Oh, it's a survey. So it's just a survey. Let's have a look. Oh no, it's just linking to another news article. A survey reveals that 3 out of 5 women are harassed at the gym, and 92% of these cases go unreported. This is fucking nonsense. So harassed. So them claiming to be harassed is not them being harassed. This is typical feminist lying propaganda, right? Okay, right. If a survey, if you randomly surveyed 100 men who claimed that 70% of women beat them up, that wouldn't be a valid survey methodology, right? Survey reveals that 3 out of 5 women claim they're harassed at the gym. So this is false framing and a lie. Okay. Women's Health Australia. All right. So all these feminist articles link to each other. So Feminist Guardian in Spain networks with feminist article in Australia. Okay, they network to conspire against men. I've already done videos on the Whisper Network, so this has been proven. But while data revealed that 9% of cases go unreported, that's a bullshit study. The rise of TikTok and people recording their workouts caused the gym creep trend to take off. So the term creep just means it makes me feel uncomfortable. So that's a slur. The term creep is equivalent to the term nigger. and it's hate speech now. It's been turned into hate speech. Currently, videos with the hashtag Jim Creep and Jim Weirdo. Now, see how they moved the goalposts, right? So Jim Creep, now it's Jim Weirdo. So being a weird, socially awkward man is pretext for harassment by women online. Have more than 1 million views, the BBC reported. Okay. The hashtag weird guys at the gym have already harassed 18 million views. So just being a weirdo, just being weird, socially awkward, unattractive, right, a bit off. That's grounds for harassment. This is actually proving that this is nothing to do with female safety. Their claims of their safety, right? It's nothing to do with that. They just don't like men and they want to go after them. For the most part, these videos show women recording the workouts and in the process capturing moments which men begin to harass or bother them. No, it doesn't. That's just a fucking lie. That's about outright lie by this feminist writing the article. That's a lie. Of course, it doesn't happen exclusively to women, but research from the University of Queensland shows females are often the primary victim of unwanted sexual attention. So you see how they're muddying the terms. So a man looking at a woman in a gym is unwanted sexual attention. All these terms that feminists use are so vague, nebulous, and watered down. They're just bullshit. They've just got to be rejected. As a result, Mrs. Solwell's mission has been accused of fueling a misogynistic rhetoric. I think that's a grammatical error. To be clear, the influencer also shares videos calling out male behaviour in the gym. Okay. One example of this is Mr. Searle's takedown of a man recording his gains in a male changing room as an unsuspecting guy got undressed behind him. So another sees Mr. Searle labelling a man mocking another guy's running style disgusting. So he's calling out bad etiquette in the gym, right? So he's not a misogynist. He's probably trying to be gender neutral. This is a point he makes on Twitter in response to an insider article that mentions some were worried that his content fueled misogyny. I wouldn't explain myself. I'll just go, the term misogyny is not valid because it's not. Fuck off. I've done an equal amount of videos on men and women because gender has nothing to do with it. I have no agenda other than making the gym a safer place for everyone, period. He wrote in a lengthy post on February 9th. That's pretty convincing to me, though. Therefore, there's been some who have taken it upon themselves to take my words of positivity and create situations of harassment, misogyny, body shaming, or any other version of spreading hate. So he's validating the feminist frame because he doesn't have a pro-male consciousness. To these people, I say with every fibre of my heart, do better. Okay? I'm going to say this right there. I've got zero concern for women being harassed at the gym, actually. And I actually don't care if it's going on or not because I'm not here to defend females, right? I think it's very rare. It's 1 in a million, right? And the concept of it, the accusations of harassment are being used to attack men in their thousands. And these hashtags harassing men gain millions of views. So I've got zero concern. Like the black man has zero concern whether a member of the KKK gets murdered or not. And quite rightfully so. I've got zero concern if women feel uncomfortable at the gym or they're getting harassed at the gym, whether it happens or not. Because it doesn't happen. And if it does happen, I don't give a shit. Right? I just don't give a shit. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. Right? I might have some concern if women were not harassing men in their thousands. Right? Joey Sorrell basically made a safe space for misogynistic men to invalidate women's experience of being uncomfortable at the gym, one woman wrote at Twitter. So this is more proof that the word misogynist is the same as the word nigger, basically. The word misogynist is completely invalid. Oh my God, I can't stand Joey Sorrell. That man has done irreparable damage to the reality and plight of women facing misogyny in public spaces, another said. So this guy did meek, mild, gender-neutral call-outs on both sexes, right? And he's getting attacked as a misogynist. These women are freaking out. As someone said, whether he likes it or not, that Joey Sorrell dude is definitely contributing to the amount of misogyny women in gyms are subjected to daily. Another lie, okay? Indeed, since the popularity of Mr. Sorrell's video has soared, many more men have begun sharing their opinions on the gym creep trend, which is good they're sharing their opinions. One man argued that YouTube men were naturally going to look at women instead of suggesting those who felt victimized should reconsider what you're wearing in order to stop the harassment. That doesn't make any fucking sense, right? Okay, men look at women, looking at them is not harassment. Another claim that women were specially filming for attention, adding women were wearing figure-hugging tights were ridiculous, thinking guys wouldn't look at them. This is actually a false framing, right? Because basically, women are not doing this for attention. Women are doing this to harass men, right? The KKK doesn't beat up black men and harass them for attention. They beat them up and harass them to harass them, yeah? The argument has long been problematic and has a long history of being used against female victims of sexual assault. That's just a lie, okay? It's been used against women who dress up to attention whore, then play the victim, okay? If a woman's actually been sexually assaulted and she reports it quickly, it's actually quite easy to prove. This is why most of these sexual assault claims are bullshit. As journalist Mickey Kendall wrote in a piece for the Washington Post titled "Why Dress Codes Can't Stop Sexual Assault" in 2016, it's a myth that's largely been debunked. No, that's actually a straw man argument. No one actually argues that. Okay, I've never seen anyone argue that what women wears can stop sexual assaults. Right now, first of all, sexual assault is one of the rarest crimes out there. Right, so that's the correct framing to the issue. Stop lying about being sexually assaulted. Stop using accusations of sexual assault against men. Stop weaponizing those claims. Right? These women just do bullshit stories about it all the time to weaponize it against men. The motive is to get at men. It's a common argument that it boils down to the same nonsense. If the victims were different, they wouldn't have been victimized, she said. That's a lie. That's a straw man lie. It's a comforting myth going to make it easy to pretend that sexual assault is something that only happens to people who make bad choices. That's a lie. That's a lie. And this is about women harassing men at the gym. You see, what this article does, it blurs the lines and just mixes in all sorts of issues. Right? So now it's moved the goalpost to sexual assault, even though it has nothing to do with sexual assault. Okay? It's also a myth that's been thoroughly debunked by the Justice Department, Raymond, and many other organisations. It's a myth that doesn't actually exist. Maybe one Christian fundamentalist nutter out of 10,000 has said that or something at the most. She also referenced a study that shows women with passive personalities who tend to dress in layers, long pants and sleeves, or high necklines are more likely to be raped. Okay, I don't validate any feminist studies on rape, so I just ignore that. The cultural assumption that rape is something that can be prevented by behaving in certain ways has been never extended to include male victims, she added. That's a lie. That's just a lie. This is, of course, no women showing that the gym creep experiences recently have publicly stated accounts have led to violent crimes of any nature against them. But it's not a huge leap to make. So none of these women have reported violent crimes against them, but somehow it's still not a huge leap to make because of reasons. Okay. A US woman hit headlines after she was sexually assaulted while taking a shower in a gym, the New York Post reported. Now, let's have a look at this. Right. Okay, so maybe this actually did happen. I'm not sure if there's a CCTV cameras or not of it happening, right? But okay, whatever. So, okay, so we got one incident of a groping, basically. Okay, so now let's break this down logically. Okay, a man staring at a woman is not the same as groping her, right? Okay, they're not in the same universe. The sort of man who's going to grope a woman, the sort of man's crazy enough and psychopathic enough to do it in a gym, is not going to be deterred by this gym creep nonsense. He's not going to. He's going to be a crazy psychopath. He's not going to give a shit. All right. I would expect. All right. Oh no, this is the wrong article. Sorry. It's also a myth. Right. Right. A woman hit headlights. So this is the same method that white nationalists use as well. By the way, I'm sorry for the silence. I'm just gathering my thoughts. This is the same method that white nationalists use. So in their dehumanization of black people and Muslims, they'll randomly link to crime stories about black people and Muslims committing crime. It's a non sequitur. Not to mention the disturbing a US woman hit headlines as she was sexually assaulted while taking a shower in the gym. The New York Post reported in 2002. Not to mention the disturbing number of women who are murdered while out running. It's not a disturbing number because women suffer violence far less than men. So this is female exceptionalism, female supremacy. Like one female murder is too much. One extra human harmed. One hair on the head of an extra human harmed is too much. That's the narrative. That's like one white person harmed by a black person is too much. It's the same idea. It's the same narrative, right? One of the women in Mrs. Serrell's video, Nora Love, has already shared her safety fears after being clapped back at her Jim Creeper story, a report by Indy 100 stated. She got clapped back for being a harasser of men. A supporter of Mrs. Serrell argued that he should be held accountable for other people misconstrue his intentions. Yeah. Okay. And if a woman has... projects her hostile intentions onto the man, that's her fault. That's her problem, and she should be booted out the gym. Men deserve safe spaces. But as one commentator pointed out, undermining how a woman feels invalidates the long-running female issues of safety in public spaces. Women are more safe than men in public spaces, right? Okay, I've had cases. I actually had to fight for my life against someone, and I had to actually choke them out like 4 months ago. I had my hand bitten as well. Okay, and I was scared. I wasn't scared, even though the person was bigger than me, was punching me. I actually wasn't that scared because I'm a bit weird like that. No, I was not scared about getting punched. I was actually scared of getting stabbed. And I didn't start fighting back until I realised he didn't have a weapon on him because I was scared I was going to get stabbed. I was actually looking around for a weapon, a brick I could pick up and hit him with it, and I couldn't find one. And when I realised he didn't have a weapon, but he already punched me in the head like 5 times, I had to jump on him and strangle him and choke him out, and he actually gave up and tapped out. All right, he was like 4 inches taller than me and was more bulky than me as well. So while this was happening, there was a male taxi driver who saw what was happening and he didn't do anything. He saw I was getting attacked and he didn't give a shit and he just drove off. Sorry to jump. Oh, maybe I should be jumping to antidote, but there's been plenty of cases. I remember like 20 years ago, I was attacked by someone with a knife as well, and I was getting chased down the street. No one did anything. I could promise you, in both situations, if I was a woman, someone would have done something, right? I just know from personal experience that when you're a man and you're getting attacked, you're on your own. Okay, women are far safer than men, right? This is actually very similar to what the white nationalists do as well. So, like there's like white genocide in South Africa. That's what white. They claim that whites are being wiped out and genocided in Africa because of the crime rates against white people. Okay, what they don't tell you is that black people suffer violent crime far more than white people. Okay, so their white genocide narrative is completely bunk and it's racist. So this gendered violence against women narrative is exactly the same. Women suffer less violence, therefore there's no gendered violence against women. There's only gendered violence against men. Mr. Soros reportedly refused to comment further when approached by a member of the US publications because he knows he's going to get misquoted in a hostile interview. So let's watch this. This is a blind man who got harassed at the gym.
Oh, sorry, I'm actually blind. That's a sentence I have to say a lot as a blind person. Once I was in the gym minding my own business on a machine doing whatever exercise, and I hear someone a few meters away say, "Oh, do you like the view?" I'm thinking to myself, uh-oh, we've got a bit of a gym creep here. I wonder what idiot is looking at this poor woman, making her uncomfortable.
Well, I'm going to say I've got no sympathy for what happened to you personally. I'm outraged that a vulnerable person, a blind person, got bullied like this and treated like this, but this is actually karma towards you. So you're validating, you're so male hostile, right? You think, some other creep must be staring at this woman, some idiot, okay? The concept of creeps is completely invalid, okay? The term used to be used against people who serial killers and murderous people who came across as potentially violent. Now it's just used against any man that makes a woman feel uncomfortable, okay? Now, let's carry on listening.
Don't hear a response from whoever she's talking to, but then I hear again, much closer to me now, did you hear me? Why are you staring at me?
So the creep was you. You're the creepy idiot then, right? Okay? Do you see this is for who the bells tome, they tome for thee, right? So if you validate these concepts of male creeps, these creepy men looking at women in the gym, these concepts can be applied against you. For who the bells tome, they tome for thee, right? Okay, this is why we've got to stop validating these anti-male concepts.
Now, I don't look stereotypically blind, but one thing I do, especially when I'm focusing, is just stare into the distance. And it turns out that I was unfortunately staring right at this woman while she was doing her exercise. I replied to the woman who's now inches from my face, all up in my area. I say, "I'm very sorry, didn't mean to make you feel uncomfortable. I'm actually blind. I was not staring at you, I was staring at nothing." She's not having any of it. She tells me to shut up, calls me a creep, storms off, gets a gym worker. I plead my innocence to them, but they are not listening to me. I was removed from the gym that day. The gym should be a safe space where everyone feels comfortable, but I promise you, not every guy in the gym is a creep.
Oh, well, what a fucking loser you are. You got 100% what you deserved, right? This is like a black person suffering racism and getting bullied, then going, oh, no, not every black person's bad. Only some of them are bad. Only some of them deserve to be bullied, right? Not every person's a fucking... Fuck you. You got what you deserved 100%. I'm sorry. Yeah? Okay? Too stupid to realise. There's no such thing as creeps, you idiot. You idiot. Gee, there's something wrong with the psychology of men. This male on male hostility is absolutely amazing, and women take advantage of it. It's a disgrace you got kicked out of the gym, and I hope you sue them, but you learnt the wrong lesson from this, right? So she knew you was blind, right? And she just wanted to victimize and bully you anyway. That's what happened. She saw you as a vulnerable male, and the gym went along with it. Now I'm going to tell an anecdotal story. I actually got a gay friend, right? Right, and he's told me all sorts of stories about gay bars and stuff. And one of the most outrageous ones is not gay, massive wall to wall buggery and gay sex, right? What this one is, he was in a gay bar that had lesbians and gay men in it, and some lesbians deemed him creepy, and he booted him out. They went to the staff and called him creepy. And this guy, he's got zero interest in women, zero interest. He wouldn't know what to do with a woman if you gave him an instruction manual, right? Zero interest. He wouldn't touch. He's actually disgusted at the thought of women intimately in a sexual way, right? Sex with women like, ew, okay. So there was no way he was perving on them. No way he was staring at them. They just didn't like the look of him because he's very effeminate. And there's been studies showing that gay men hate effeminate gays, or they dislike effeminate gays more masculine ones, right? So what's probably happening is hatred of effeminate men is missionary, by the way. What's probably happening is like the masculine gay bouncer kicked him out on the word of the lesbian women who didn't like him, right? So blind, gay, socially awkward, right? These women just don't. Just a normal guy. These women don't like you. They'll accuse you of staring at them and get you kicked out. Okay. And here's another example. Trevor covered this guy. Angry woman confronts blind man at a gym and accuses him of staring at her. Right. Okay. And like, look. Let's look at creepy guy. So look, Jim harassment creepy guy. Right. There you go. Gym creep. Let's look at this. The gym creeps have officially ruined my gym. Gym creep was staring at me and this happened. Watch this creep come over to my personal bubble while doing blah, blah, blah. This is what happens when you call every man at a gym a creep or pervert. Another gym creep, thoughts. There's loads of videos like this. Don't sit there and tell me you're not doing something when I was...
This creepy old guy at the gym kept coming over and staring at me.
No, he wasn't. He's not even looking at her.
So I told my husband, and he came over and worked out next to me. Even after he came over, he continued to stare.
You know what? It looks like he's more like staring at his boyfriend more than her. Look, it looks like he was checking out his ass, right? So, and look, even if he was, this is the thing, even if he was staring at her, so fucking what? So fucking what? This is why you've got to reject the concept that staring at women is bad. Don't sit there and tell me you're not doing something when I have proof. So he recorded him without his consent and put it on social media, right? Gym creeps, 23 million views. Is it just me or have old men gotten creepy in the past year? Just because she's wearing a certain type of pants doesn't give him the right to stare repeatedly. It's not a hard concept. No, he's got the right to do what he wants with his fucking eyeballs in a public space. Get fucked. Get fucked. Yeah, I think I've covered everything in this. So that's all for now. We've got to stop validating female neurotic fears and female hostility. So if women are legitimately afraid they're neurotic, in the same way white racists are neurotically afraid of black people, or they're hostile, or it's both. Okay, so we've got to stop validating female hostility, right? And females have got to be. And the thing, I don't even say we should be funding female-only gyms, right? We should be booting females out of gyms until they can learn to behave themselves. Okay, right? Okay. So there. Actually, females want to use gyms. They've got to sign a declaration saying, "I will not hassle men or call them creeps." And if they don't sign it, they're not allowed in. Over and out.